people. It is another Bailey's Beauty and Blood Tuesday. I'm your host, Bailey Marshall. If you're like me and love both cosmetics and crime, please make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss an upload. Like always, don't worry your little heads. I will list all of the products that I used down in the box. If you want to see the full makeup tutorial, that'll be on my other channel. Today, I'm going for a little femme fatale kind of look in honor of the female serial killer that we are talking about today, Eva Martin. Eva was born on the same day as another famous serial killer, Ted Bundy, November 24th, making them both Sagittarius. A lot of these serial killers seem to be under Sagittarius. What's up with that? I've got my eye on you guys. Just kidding. Most of you guys are great. T-Swift, Miss Spears, Miley, love them. Anyway, Eva was not a pop star Sag. She was born in 1921 in White Deer, Texas. So as she was coming of age, they were dealing with the Dust Bowl, the Great Depression, just general chaos. Have you heard about the hordes of bugs in people's homes during the Dust Bowl? I just could not. Anyway, her mother had 5 kids that survived past the infant age. Sadly, not all of them made it. Their parents seemed to do their best, but, all the time they were occupied with just making sure that their family was fed. The first indication that there may be something off with Eva came when she was around 15 years old. As the oldest girl, Eva was tasked with watching over her 3 younger siblings during the day. Her siblings said that she would be nice when any adults or their older brother were around, but when she was alone with them, she would turn into a totally different person. She would hit them if they did anything that annoyed her, which seemed pretty random. If they did something that she didn't like, she would throw their food on the floor and make them eat it like that. Or she would put all their possessions just out of reach and just laugh when they started crying. Well, one day, Eva had something in the kitchen that she was supposed to do. So she put her siblings down for a nap a bit early. The 2 girls went in one room, and the youngest boy, it said he was around 5, went in his own room, and that was down the hall. They said they could remember a back and forth with Eva, and it got a little loud before she stormed down to the kitchen and came back with what looked like a glass of milk. She gave it to him in his room, slammed the door shut, and they all fell asleep for their nap. When their parents came back and they all woke up, their brother's door was still shut. They called for him, but no answer. Then one of the sisters opened his door and found him there, lying with his eyes wide open and not breathing. And he appeared to have vomited some. They called for their parents, who rushed up and tried to save him, but he was already gone. And they couldn't really prove anything at the time, and with people dying, it wasn't really that uncommon, so the family mourned and buried him and tried to move on with their lives. Now, Eva was 20 years old. The U.S. had just joined World War II. She left to be a nurse. And the people at the hospital with Eva that worked with her said she was mostly happy. She was good with patients. She managed to keep everyone's spirits high. Some did mention that they saw a temper slip through occasionally, but who wouldn't snap sometimes under those circumstances? Eva eventually requested to be placed with the patients dealing with mental disorders. She seemed to have a special way of communicating with them, and they seemed to love her. But every time Eva would get especially close with a patient, they seemed to die soon. She would tell them the story of her favorite little brother that died while she was watching him, and then just claimed to have bad luck when it came to anyone that she really cared about. The other people at the hospitals, they had no reason not to believe her because everyone seemed to love her. One of the surviving patients said that Eva would give him doses of drugs and sometimes start weeping in his room, or sometimes would take objects and start calling him some other man's name and sometimes hit him. He was transferred to another hospital for a surgery shortly after. After finding out what she did, he was pretty sure he was going to be one of her victims. So, World War II ends. Eva, like a lot of people at the time, she thought it'd be a great idea to get married. She met a doctor at the hospital she was working at named Robert. He was enamored with her. She made him happy. She was smart. So they got married and bought a house in the suburbs of Denver, Colorado. Pretty soon after, Eva was pregnant with their first child, a little boy that they named Stephen. Everything was great for a while. Eva was pregnant with their second child. Robert hired a nanny to sort of help her out around the house. One day he came home and noticed bruises on the baby. He asked what had happened. Eva said she didn't know because he had been with the nanny most of the day. When Robert confronted the nanny, she denied that she had been alone with the child at all. And then she claimed that she had been, out doing the shopping that Eva had sent her out to do and only just got home. Very pregnant Eva started crying and calling the nanny a liar, so Robert had no choice but to let her go. Little more time passed. Eva gave birth to a baby girl. Robert hired a new nanny. Everything seemed fine until one day Robert started feeling ill out of nowhere. No one at the hospital could figure out what was wrong with him. So he decided to take some time off to rest and take the whole family to the beach to try and recover. Even though Robert wasn't feeling like super great, the neighbors said that they looked like a postcard family at the beach house. Beautiful wife, handsome husband, little boy, baby girl. They had been there for about a month, gotten to know everybody around. Robert finally decided that he was feeling well enough to try and go back. Then Eva was seen carrying in all sorts of groceries to make them a fancy going-away dinner. They were all seen laughing on the beach just before turning in for the night to eat. The next morning, the neighbors knew something was off. The family wasn't seen outside like they normally would be, and one car was gone, but the door was left open. One neighbor, Wallace, decided to go check on him. He knocked on the door with no response, so he went inside just to find Robert and his 2 children dead around the dinner table. Eva was nowhere to be seen. He went back, called the police. Turns out Eva had been taking stacks of cash out of their bank account slowly and just disappeared. We still don't know if she just went to another state, changed her name, or fled the country. No more killings were ever connected to her. She just seemingly vanished. So, what do you think happened to Eva? What are your theories? Do you think she killed again? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing y'all's theories. And of course, join me next week. We are going to be covering a very much requested Pisces, this time Mr. John Wayne Gacy.